All right, Adam from Splendid Sports here, and I am joined by, I'm just going to say it, my favorite vintage sports card YouTube channel. No offense to anybody else, but he's my favorite. Dylan from Double D Vintage Baseball Cards, somebody that I wanted to talk to for a good amount of time now since I discovered his channel earlier this year. And I've been saying it, I've said it before, he's got the coolest card room I've seen on YouTube. Look at that thing. Unbelievable. So what we're going to do here, we are going to do something that just kind of came off the cuff. I asked Dylan to do something called 3 and 3, which is show 3 of his favorite cards. Doesn't have to be the most valuable, doesn't have to be his top cards or whatever, just 3 of his favorite cards, and tell us why they're his favorite cards. And then he's going to give us 3 cards that's on his wish list, achievable cards. So not, $1 million cards, but cards that he could conceivably buy in the near future. What's on his hit list? So Dylan, let's get going. Let's get started here. Let's get right into it. Let's go with the first card. What do you got?
Okay. All right, Adam. Well, first, thank you for having me on the show. I feel like I was the one begging to be on the show.
No.
I listened to all your podcasts. Absolutely love them. I had a connection with you right out of the gates listening to your podcast. I'm a huge podcast guy. And I mean, literally, I begged you on one of my shows, like, I want to be on. So many of your guests, you're super professional. I just love it. So thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Let's dive in. So
let's do it. My pleasure.
My first card, if you've seen my show, you know what it's going to be. The rest you're not going to know, but the first one you're going to know. First one is my Robin Yount 1975 Topps rookie cards. This one happens to be graded an 8. I've had this card forever. I have quite a few Robin Yount rookie cards. And the reason Robin Yount rookie card is my all-time favorite card is because when I was a kid, quick story, I was at a friend's house. I was probably 6 or 7 or 8 years old. I'm not 100% sure. I was at his house, and on his shelf, he had a stack of baseball cards, and they are all 1975 Topps. And I had never held cards that old, and he didn't know what they were or anything like that. He wasn't a card collector. He just had them up there. I knew what they were. I was like gravitated to them. I grabbed them, and I was looking through, and I saw a Robin Yount rookie card. And it just blew my mind. I think it was $27 at the time in those old yellow Beckett's, which I should have brought out. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about. There are those yellow things, and I used to have them all highlighted. Well, that was the card I saw in there, and that card has stuck with me ever since. Every time I see one, I want to buy it. I have a hard time not buying every one I see on eBay. That's just the card for me. That it's just a pinnacle for me. All my other cards could go away, except for a few, but like as far as what it brings to me, my nostalgic and the memories I have towards this, it's just magical for me. And so I never thought I'd ever own one back then as a kid. And now I have one. I have many. I have autographed ones. And then I also have the mini version, which absolutely love the minis. A lot of people don't like the minis. I'm obsessed with the minis. Maybe because I'm small, and I say that a lot. I like small things. But those minis are just awesome. So that's my first card.
What was the grade on the one? The first, I can't see the grade.
The first one is an 8.
Wow.
Okay. You say 8. And it's got like the different colors. So there's like 2 colors in these. There's one that has the fluorescent style orange, and then the one that's like looks like it's a faded orange, but it's not faded. I'm assuming I've looked it up to see if there's like different printing dates or anything, but I couldn't find anything. And I've tried over the years to see someone out there might know, but there are definitely different print runs in 75, just like any Topps, and you get the different color variations. I really love the faded color variation. It's not faded when you look at the card, it's just a lighter color. And so that's why I got the 8 in that. And then I have a bunch of 7s. That's
the 75 set is, I mean, I've heard you say this before, that one of the biggest things for you on cards is the colors.
Yes.
And I mean, 75, it's just got some of the coolest designs and colors that you'll see. It's such a, I mean, I understand, having watched some of your other videos, I understand why that card and especially that set is so important to you. And I'm with you. I love that. I
It's
love that
awesome.
set.
The colors, yeah, it just boom, it just
Beautiful.
scream. I don't know. Was it the 70s? I don't know. Wasn't alive in the 70s, so
Me either.
it is that color. Yeah, it just pops.
And what about Robin Yount? He feels like a player who doesn't get talked about enough. I mean, I was actually, this is just coincidence. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was just randomly, like, I looked him up on Wikipedia just because I was like, I wonder how many, like, I know he had 3,000 hits, but like, what else? And like, his career was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. He was
never
amazing.
hear about him. Honestly, I never hear about him other than like on your channel.
I think because he was like the stock amazing player. He wasn't, I guess he had some blowout years, some really insane years, but nothing like, he wasn't a home run hitter. Everyone hears about the home run hitters. I mean, that's what we love. Even to this day, we want to watch Aaron Judge hit a whole bunch of home runs. We want to watch the home run guys. And Robin Yount was like a utility guy / incredible hitter. He, 300. I think his average was like 280 or something, but high 280s probably. I could be wrong.
Won multiple MVPs.
Yeah, multiple MVPs. He was incredible. I mean, he was, I don't know every stat there is about Robin Yount. He's not my favorite player at all. Literally, I don't even collect his other cards. I have just a few, but I just love this.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about him besides the stuff I see on the back of the 75 card.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go number 2.
Okay, number 2. Number 2's they all got stories to them. Number 2 is an actual recent pickup about, I want to say 3 years ago. So growing up, my first pack of cards that I remember ever getting, I told this story many times, but I used to be a pitcher in baseball. I was like 7 years old. And so every time I get a strikeout, my dad would buy me packs of cards. Well, it started in 87. So in 87, I was an Anaheim Angels super fan, of course, and we got to walk the field on the what is it, the Little League Day or something. You get to walk around the track. You probably did that.
Yeah, I didn't, but I know about it. Yep.
Yeah, so that was like the closest I've ever been to a field. I mean, I didn't actually get on the field, but around the dirt track. So 87 Topps is my huge thing, and Wally Joyner. And Wally Joyner was like, open a pack up. All I wanted to have was Wally Joyner cards. That's it. And so when I was back on the mainland, I live on Hawaii. So back on the mainland, I went and visited my old shop that I grew up rollerblading to with my 2 friends back then, my friend Danny and my friend Dave. And we'd rollerblade there, probably what you did, and grab our bikes, and we'd go there every day. And we'd go hang out in there. And I was buying 87 packs. And so I went back there about 3 years ago, and he had packs. What are these called? These are called rack packs.
Rack
packs of 87 Topps, and there was a Wally Joyner rookie card on the top. And I go, I have to have that pack right there. It was $5. I mean, I was just so stoked on that thing. So there's the Wally Joyner.
Yeah.
Right there. That card to me is like, it just brings me all the way back. And then having it all those years later, going in the store and randomly having that on the pack. And you also have another Hall of Famer in the middle, Ted Simmons, and then you got Fernando Valenzuela, which I grew up watching on that All-Star card. So this is number 2 right here. This will never leave my collection. This was a find, and $5. I mean, I don't care. Someone could offer me $400. I'm not selling this unless there's a whole bunch available. No, I wouldn't sell it because it just, the whole, me going into the shop all those years later, 35 years later, and then finding that 87 Topps pack, Racks pack with it on there, just blew my mind. So that's my number 2.
I think 87 Topps, as I think back, I think that was the first. I don't know how many Rookie Cup cards are in that set. I know that, with the Joyner there, but I remember that being like the first set I saw the Rookie Cup in. I don't know if maybe it is the first set they ever did. Did they ever do that in?
No, they did the Rookie Cups way back. Like
way back. Okay.
60, I want to even say 61, maybe even 59 or 60 or 61, okay. Way back.
You're right. All right. But I remember that was like the first set I saw it on, and I just was like, whoa. And then I remember it's funny because you're wearing the Bo Jackson Future Star shirt. That card was like, I saw the Future Stars, and I was like, oh my God. Like, I just remember being amazed at that set. Like a 6-year-old kid looking at that, 6 or 7 years old. And that was like probably one of my first memories of cards, looking at that set, the Rookie Cup, the Future Stars. It was unbelievable.
I figured you would like that one because I mean, right in our wheelhouse.
Yep.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Yeah, that Rookie Cup. I mean, the Future Stars. Like, I mean, that's why I have all those T-shirts. Like, I just find it fascinating. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Me too. So, all right, let's go. Number three.
Okay, it is a big hitter right here. So another card that really, this is probably my favorite card in my entire collection. This isn't even a baseball card. This card right here, I'm a surfer, so I've surfed pretty much my entire life. That is my life. Besides, besides baseball cards, right? But that's my hobby. I surf every single day, and I have for decades and decades. And I moved over to Hawaii about 5 years ago, and I was at the mall with my wife. We were walking around as an outdoor mall, and they had a card show randomly. And this card show, I'm telling you, the card show is like 3 tables, okay? And 2 people have vintage stuff, and it's very minimal. But this card right here popped out at me right away. It's the 1933 Sports Kings Duke Kahanamoku. Wow. And Duke is an Olympic gold medalist, 3-time gold medalist, 2-time silver medalist. He's the godfather of surfing. He is the king of my sport. So to see this card and buy this where I live and to come across it, and the day I saw it, I didn't have any money and I didn't have an ATM card. So I couldn't buy it that day. I was like sweating bullets. Like, how am I going to see it again? I'm never going to find that card again. And so they had another show the next month, and I went right back to the guy. And that's when I started building my relationship with him. And I asked him if he still had it, and he didn't think he had it. And he started digging around, and he had it in the back box. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'll take it. Boom. And I put that thing in my pocket. I couldn't put it in my pocket fast enough. I was so excited to get this card. And I mean, Duke is, I grew up in Huntington Beach, California, and there's a statue of Duke in Huntington Beach, California. And there's a restaurant of Duke's restaurant, and we go to Duke's over here all the time. He is, I'm going to do a whole episode on Duke, so I won't go too deep into him, but he's a hero of all of us surfers. And for me, I worked in the surfboard industry for 20 years, and I dealt with all these old shapers that are, most of them are all dead now, but I built relationships with them for 20 years. And Duke is like, he's the beginning of everything I know about surfing. So to have this card is like the most special thing to me in the world. Plus, it's gone up like crazy. I bought this thing for like $200, and I don't know what it's worth now exactly, but it's worth a lot more than that. And to have a card from 1933 Sports Kings, I never thought in wildest dreams I'd ever own one, right? I mean, you probably know that set. It's like there's the Babe Ruth in it, Ty Cobb.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my grand finale, my 3.
Well, and this is funny because I didn't know what cards you were going to show. We just kind of go into it cold. I want to be surprised. Like a month and a half ago, my family we took a vacation, did a little Airbnb in Huntington Beach.
No way.
We had never been there. We live in Arizona, so we want to get out of Arizona in the summer, and we just wanted to go somewhere it was cooler and we could get to a beach. And we Googled like best family friendly beach in California, and that came up number 1. So like, let's go to Huntington Beach. And when you were saying that there's a statue, so we walked to our Airbnb, from our Airbnb to the beach. And my daughter goes, look at the statue. Like right when we got there, I'm guessing that's the one you're talking about. It was like, that's him, right? Yeah. So it's like, what are the odds? But that was one of the best beaches I've ever been to in my life. It was unbelievable.
Wow, that's insane. That's so funny.
So we had an awesome time there, and it's funny. Right when you said that, I was like, I remember that statue.
Yeah, I can't believe that. That's insane. I'm so stoked that you brought the card out then just for that story right there. Wow. Yeah, Duke's insane. You know, he's in the Olympic Hall of Fame, he is in Swimmers Hall of Fame, and he's in the Surfing Hall of Fame. So, I mean, he touches all the bases as far as a collector goes. And for me, I mean, I can't believe you went to Huntington Beach.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's my stomping ground.
Beautiful place that I already can't wait to go back to. What's that?
Where'd you guys stay?
We just rented a little Airbnb, small place. It was like a 5-minute walk right down the hill to the beach. I forget what the street was now, but yeah, it was real close to the beach. We were there just for like a few days, but it was great.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, that's my old playground. Every day I get dropped off at the pier and I'd surf. And then after my parents got off work, one of our friends' parents or mom or dad would pick us up. We'd go to Taco Bell and every single day for years.
Yeah.
And years.
That's funny.
Yep.
All right. So let's move on to the 3 cards on your hit list or whatever we want to call it. 3 cards that you hope to buy.
All right. My hit list. Woo. This is big because these are like, these are dream cards, but they're attainable now, which is crazy, right? I mean, Adam, you're like, we grew up looking at cards and somehow we love vintage. And I tell that to a big part of this whole vintage thing that we're both in this world is everyone's you talk about it all the time. Like a lot of guys think that vintage isn't going to be popular in the future, but to reiterate the fact that we liked vintage, we collect vintage, these guys, so I guess they were alive. You heard stories as a kid. Your dad was telling you stories. My dad, my parents, no one in my family played baseball. No one liked baseball. No one knew what I was doing with baseball cards. They didn't, they knew I was into them, but I never heard any stories, but I still went after the vintage stuff. And I think that's just because eventually you just love history. I like the card themselves and seeing them and just seeing a Hank Aaron and a Ted Williams. And I had the pictures in my walls. Seeing that stuff as a kid, it just, as you get older, you start reading books and you get older and wiser and you just fall into that. And I think the same thing's going to happen with the guys now collecting modern. They're collecting modern because they're watching guys play, just like we collected modern. We collected 87 was modern, and I think that vintage is going to be around forever, and I think it's going to be collected forever, and all the way back to pre-war. Even pre-war is harder to get to know because the books the history's not as available as it is in the Mickey Mantle era and stuff. We can really dive into millions of books. So I find that a big plus to collect this stuff that I think 20 years from now, this stuff's going to be even more collectible, more valuable. That's my quick take on it before I get into the 3. Way off topic. But first card is my number 1 on my list for my entire life. And it's so attainable, and I could have bought it like 10 times by now. But I'm a guy that likes to have, I'd rather have 10 $100 cards than one $1,000 card. Not that I don't have a lot of $1,000 cards, but that was how I started my collection, and I really like the stuff that was produced. I like base cards of all Hank Aaron's and all Mickey Mantles. I don't have to have the rookies, but this card right here, 1953 Topps. You have this card.
No, I don't.
You don't have this card?
No,
I thought you did.
No, I don't.
It's killing you.
No, and thank you for torturing me.
Yes.
I'm with you. That's what I want to. You're right. I'm with you.
It's the best card. So that card right there. I mean, the Mickey Mantle 1953 Topps is, to me, it's the greatest card ever made. It's the best art I've ever seen. Maybe because in like 91 or something, they came out with a reprint set, an archive set, and I collected that set. And this card was like gold. I still have the original card. I should have brought it out in a hard screw down case. You know, it's like a $5 card, but it's in a screw down case. That's my goal. So I hope I want to buy this in the flesh. And I know you don't go to card shows, and I don't have card shows available to me except for, 3 tables, and 2 of them are vintage guys, and they don't have cards like this. I want to get this at the National next year. I want to buy this in the flesh. It's too hard to buy these things on eBay because I'm not going to buy a high grade one, and you know how it is. You like a 2, you want to see it in the flesh. You really want to go through the details of it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a big regret of mine too, because I almost purchased this in a 5 right before the pandemic, and it was like $4,000, and I was like this close. I was like, I even put a bid in, and then it got overlapped, and I was like, do I put another bid in? And I didn't. I wish I would have, but that's the number 1 hit list for me.
I'm hearing so much about that card lately. I feel like I've heard 10 different people, like on various shows in the last month, say that 53 is their favorite card of Mantle. Because 52 is getting all the talk now, and people are saying, actually, from an imagery standpoint and the look of the card, I've heard so many people say that 53 Mantle is their favorite. And there was a time when I was trying to get like a Mantle from each year. I haven't hit 52 yet, but 53, it was a toss up for me. This was about 5 years ago, and I went with the 53 Bowman color it was a little less expensive. Yeah, and I love that image too, the blue sky and him.
I love it. I have that card. I love that.
Yeah, and so I went with that one, and then obviously I didn't get the 53 tops. But hey, maybe if I go to the National next year with you,
that's it. It'd be insane. We both like.
There's no shortage of them there.
You can get the 5 because I know you get the high stuff. I'll get the 1.5.
I just want one that's like nicely centered, and even if it's a 2 or a 3, I don't care. As long as it looks good. Well,
I'll take the off center one because that set to me, I talk about it a lot. I don't care about centering on that set. For some reason, the white isn't that crisp, and the border to me doesn't matter. So I can go a little lower dollar and get a little sharper image than the centering on that set. I don't care about centering on that set at all.
Yeah, you're right. It's not as glaring as some of the other sets. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, some people won't take that for a million years. Like you might, your centering guy, your stuff's incredible, by the way. Your stuff's like, whew, so cherry. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you don't have that card.
No, that's on the list. That's my list. But anyway, we're talking your list. So what do we got?
Number 2. Oh my gosh. All right. Number 2 is another no-brainer. This one, I flip-flop from number 1, number 2, but how I collect cards, I really it's all about the image to me. It's all about what's on the card and not actual like, oh, it's his rookie card. Oh, it's this. I don't care if it's his rookie card or it's his base card. I just want a really cool looking card. That's how I collect cards. I just want it to look sick. And this card to me is this hits all the boxes, and it's a no-brainer. Everyone's going to have this on their list. And this one's a must. I have to get this in my lifetime, and I will before it goes up too much. The Hank Aaron rookie card, 1954 tops.
Yep.
I mean, this one I want centered. This set sticks out like a sore thumb if it's not centered.
Right.
So this one, I got to have it centered, and I got to have the image. I'm hoping for like a pinhole one. Some people hate pinholes. I don't care about pinholes. I actually find the story fascinating with the pinholes, and you get a 1 automatically or 1.5 with a pinhole. You give me that perfect copy all day long for $2,000. Boom, I'll buy it. So that's my number 2 Hank Aaron rookie card. I want that one so bad. Do you have one?
No, I don't, but it's a great card. It's one of the greatest cards, one of the greatest players, and what like if you could get if a 1 and an authentic were the same, like around the same price, would you go 1 if they looked about the same?
I would go 1 even if the 1 looked worse.
Got it. Me too.
I'm on. I had a conversation about that, and I picked people's brains. And being on YouTube, I didn't even know. Like, I'm new to YouTube, so I'm way behind on like I always saw authentic, and I was like, never in a million years. Never would I ever do that before I got on YouTube. And then I started seeing people's collections, and they had these authentic stuff, and their display case filled with Mickey Mantle rookie cards. And I was like, man, am I blowing it? But then, it's like totally. So I had to like process in my head, and like, you wrap it around. Do you want to have an authentic card, or would you rather have one with a numerical grade? Like, to me, at that point, it's about what the value in the future is going to be. I'm not going to buy a card that I don't think is going to be worth more in the future, or at least the same. Spending that kind of money is important. We have wives, you have a whole family. It's a lot of money to just buy some cardboard with. You want to have the. So my option was a numerical grade. A lot of people do not like trimmed. They do not like the concept that someone maybe washed it or whatever they did to it. So I think that's not going to change. I think that's going to be around forever, that opinion. So I'm going to stick with numerical grades, even if it's worse looking. What about you?
So I'm the same way. Same way. I'd take I'm cool with the, unless it's like a card. I'll do a video on this whole thing, but I have a bunch of cards that are from my uncle, who I never met. He died before I ever got the chance to meet him. Yeah. But I was given some of his old cards, and I got those just authenticated. I sent them in to SGC with the instructions that I don't want to grade. I just want to put authentic on the card because I like to keep it in a slab. It says authentic. I know it's authentic, but it's more of just like preserving it, and I like the way they look. Yeah. But why do I need to grade those cards? You're
never going to sell them.
I don't care, and I'm never going to sell them. So, but yes, to your point, if you're collecting graded cards, part of it is you want to enjoy them while you have them, but you also want to collect something that in the future, down the road, many, many years, that are going to be, if they need to be sold, they're in condition where they can be sold easily by the family, or just something that is going to, like you said, grow in value over time, and that's the hope. It's not the primary reason we do it, but if I'm gonna spend a good amount of money on something, I want it to be something that will hopefully increase in value. Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like we're listening to other podcasts on this total same page on that aspect. Like, collecting cards is the whole collecting thing. We are collectors. I don't need to prove it. You don't need to prove it. Right. That you're allowed to want your cards to go up in value. You're allowed to get them graded and be excited that they're worth money. And when someone comes over to my house, and a lot of people poo-poo this, someone comes over and I'll be the first one to tell them what the most expensive card on the wall is, because it's exciting. It's like, because they ask, and so I'll tell them, I'll show them. It doesn't bother me one bit. To me, it's part of it. I'm old enough to, I love that aspect of it. I've always loved it since we were kids. We had the Beckett. Beckett pounded that in my head. This card's worth $2. This Jose Canseco is worth $3, right? So
absolutely. That was the whole, that honestly, there's a lot of collectors who don't want to hear the word investment, or they don't want to talk money. I don't even know what my cards are worth. But let's be honest. The whole idea behind Beckett, which pretty much probably all of them looked at and, bought or subscribed to, it was, the idea that, these things have a value to them, and it's not the primary reason why you do it. But if you're going to do it, why not do it in a way where you can give your kids or your wife or whoever inherits the cards something that, hey, that's cool. Dad bought these 30 years ago and they've tripled in price. That's cool. Why not?
So cool. Oh my gosh, Adam, we could have so many. I want to take this conversation over here. I want to take it over here.
Yeah, we could.
It's like, so many fun topics to talk about. Oh my gosh.
Our next thing, we'll do a whole episode on that. Absolutely.
Oh, I love it.
All right, let's go. Okay. Number 3, third card on the list of the card that you want to buy.
Another card that this checks a lot of boxes for me. You got, I think, underrated player, really nice human being, top 10 players of all time, and the card is beautiful and stunning and just a spectacular card for my wall personally, because it's blue. And that's the Stan Musial 1948 Leaf rookie card. That one is on my hit list. It's been on my hit list for a long time. You know, it's one of those cards that, it's, $2,000 to get one that I want, maybe 1,000 if you get one, if I get lucky on one. And I will buy this one on eBay when I find a proper one and I have the money at that moment, because there's not much imagery to it. It's a simple card. It's just got a blue outline, basically, his body swinging it. It's not one, you're going to see it on the image. It's not as detailed as the other two. The other one's got a photograph. The other one is painted. This one is pretty simplistic. So I could purchase this on eBay when I get the funds, when the day comes where I feel like spending $1,000 or $2,000 on a baseball card again. So that's my number 3.
That I got one of those recently, within the last several months, earlier in the year. And
yep. No way.
And for me, the one I have is honestly the grade. I think it's a 3.5, maybe 3.5, 4. But I was it's not centered, which is normally, like you were saying earlier, I do look for that if I can. But for some reason in that set, it's not that important to me. Like, I don't know why.
It's the color.
Because it is noticeable, but for me, it was like, I want one that has awesome coloring, like that blue background there. The one I got, just like, it looks like it was just like painted or something. It's amazing. Yeah. So that's for like the key with me with getting that card was how vivid is it? And the one I have, I think it looks really good. So
you don't have it handy, do you?
No, I no. Again, we go in blind. I should have, had I known, I would have brought mine. But
that's good. You know,
next time.
Cool. At least you had one of these.
Yeah, I got that in the Ted Williams. I made a run on the 48 league.
That's on my top 5 list.
Yep,
for sure. Yeah, it's a beautiful set. Yeah, every card in the set is spectacular.
For me, it's like I was thinking of doing something like my top 5 sets of all time, and that would definitely be in there. 48 leaf for sure for me would be in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, it checks my boxes. It's vibrant.
Yeah,
beautiful. It's like, can't go wrong.
Dylan, all right, I got to put you on the spot before we leave. So my hope is that obviously me and you, I want to do a lot more videos, interviews, just talking with you, obviously. But could you recommend to me if I'm going to do more of these 3 and 3s, right?
Yeah.
Give me someone on YouTube. Someone who has a channel or somebody that I could reach out to that you think would want to do this, or it would be good to talk to someone about.
On the spot. Hold on, I got a list right here. I want to get the names right.
All right.
Because I was gonna do my giveaway. I'm probably gonna film that after this, just to get that off my plate. It's like, you ever do a subscriber give or have you ever done a giveaway before?
Yeah, I did. I did a bunch of stuff like through social media to get people over to YouTube, and it's fun, but yeah, it can be a lot of work.
Oh my gosh, I'm like just so stressed. Like, I realized, okay, well, probably because I had to build this stuff, and I should have just given cards away, which I'm going to give away anyways. All right, so your question, there's a lot of guys.
Someone who you think would do it too, because
absolutely.
I know I'm not on everyone's like want list to talk to, but somebody you think would be open to doing it.
Okay, I really like. Do you know John Wade Boggs fan?
Yes.
Let me got his name.
Yep.
Yeah, Wade Boggs fan. His name's John.
Yep. I know really because he did a vintage index recently that I noticed.
Yeah.
I put one out too. So yes, absolutely. Of course, I know him.
So I don't know why, but I really love listening. He's like a lot of guys. We talked about this off air I talked to you for like 5 minutes a week ago before we did this. And I mentioned like some guys will talk and you'll just see like nothing in front of them, right? I love watching his videos. He talks, he's in front of it like you are right now, or like I am, and he doesn't have to have cards in front of him, and he really has detailed opinions about his cards, and he thinks it through. I think he'd be really good to interview. He seems like a really awesome guy. There's tons more I would choose, but I would pick John I mean, I think it'd be a really cool, fascinating one, and he'd probably come up with different cards than us. So, yeah, that
I would
would be
love
my
that.
choice.
I'll reach out to him and see if he'd be open to doing that. Maybe I'll say it can't be Wade Boggs cards though. It has to be something.
Yeah, right. Got to be vintage. So
It's got to be
you know
vintage
what?
and no Wade Boggs.
Yeah, I actually
Wade Boggs isn't vintage, so yeah.
I don't watch his Wade Boggs. He does a Wade Boggs card every day. Like you do the Mantle Mondays now, which was awesome. I watched that. Mantle card was insane. I'll watch yours, but I won't. I don't watch John's Wade Boggs ones. I'm sorry, John, but I just I don't want to see a modern Wade Boggs card every day. But I love hearing him talk when he gets a new vintage card. So yeah, that's
Perfect.
yeah.
All right, Dylan. Well, as normal, when I was like, hey, let's do 15, 20 minutes, and now we're at like 37 minutes. So I always do this. I kept you longer than I said I was gonna.
My channel, I go for an hour.
That's true. That's
talking
true.
about myself, so I'm all good.
All right. Well, Dylan, thank you very much. I'm gonna if you're into vintage and you don't already subscribe to Double D Vintage Baseball Cards, first off, what are you doing? Wake up. Yeah, you got that. It's a must subscribe. I'm gonna put a link just in case in the notes here to his channel. But anyway, Dylan, thank you so much, and you better believe I'll be reaching out to you soon to do another one of these.
I'll be stoked, Adam. Thanks for having me. And I really hope you reach out to me and always give me a call, text me, new purchases, whatever. I had an absolute blast. I could have gone off on 55 different directions on conversation. So many more questions to ask you, but I know you like to keep them short. So I'll let you go.
All right. Until next time.
Okay, Adam. Shaka, brah.